There's a few ways, right? The way I use analytics and tracking for marketing with WP is I use Google Tag Manager that goes to Google Analytics. In the example, I'm going to show you two ways. So either directly using Google Analytics and implementing on the website using SEOpress options, or using Google Tag Manager. In our backend, if you go to SEOpress icon over here, make sure you're comfortable with this because you need to be going to SEOpress pretty much all the time throughout the course. So if you go to analytics, you will understand what different options there are, right? So everything you have in analytics section does not work if this option is not enabled, okay? So make sure this option is enabled and then you start putting in your information. All right, so first of all, are we going to use the on plugin option of putting the code in there itself, or are we going to use Tag Manager? Okay, so the first way we're going to do it is using the codes given by Google Google Analytics. So there's two versions of analytics right now. There's Universal Analytics, that's the older one. There's Google Analytics 4. If you're wondering what's the difference, first of all, GAUA, the Universal Analytics, is an older version. That's one difference. The other one is the way it tracks data. So Universal Analytics is based more on sessions, rather than Google Analytics 4 is trying to be more on user journeys. The other thing is Universal Analytics is less data privacy friendly, whereas GA4 is more data privacy friendly. That's what I know on top of my head. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to implement the code. It says, hey, enter your tracking ID, which is the Universal Analytics, and it says measurement ID, which is the GA4, right? So if you click on this option, it'll actually tell you where to get the Universal UA tag and the GA4 tag from. Pretty simple. You can follow the instruction and you can enter it. Let me walk you through it. So let's say if I go to Analytics UA, I go to admin, it's property settings. So yeah, if you go to property settings, this is the UAID code. So you go place it. Your code is going to be unique to yourself. Make sure you don't copy and paste my code, but that's the code you put over here for UA. And if you are looking at Google Analytics 4, so remember that this is GAUA, right? So the Google, it starts with UA. If you go to Google Analytics 4, and the way to get your code is pretty much the same. You go to settings, make sure you already have a data stream created, and the data stream is your website. So you go to here, go to data stream, click on your option, and get that measurement ID, right? You copy that, you paste it over here, and that's your G something something something, right? So it's pretty straightforward. You put it over here. Once that's done, you enable this, click save, and it should actually start tracking. Now, here's another cool thing. SEOpress, if you are logged in as an admin or any of the members, you can exclude users from being tracked if you are logged in already on the website. So if I'm logged into the website in my WP admin, if I go to my website, I start scrolling around, I go to blogs and courses, whatever. If I'm logged in, right, Google Analytics will not be tracked because I've given that option to say exclude user roles from being tracked. Okay, so in this instance, it will not track you. But if you want to track your subscribers, how they're engaging, your contributors, how they're engaging on the website, make sure this is deselected. For now, I'm going to remove this because now we're going to look at number 2, how to set up using Google Tag Manager, and that is what I do. So how does that work is your website is here, your WordPress website, you got the plugin, SEOpress plugin. You're going to implement the Google Tag Manager code on SEOpress, and then you're going to use Tag Manager to implement Analytics, Tag Manager, and ads. So this is a more advanced option. Why do we do this? Is because I don't want to put individual codes every time, right? So if you've had an issue later where, let's say you have many tracking codes, putting over here, it's gonna get long, right? So instead, I have one tag manager that manages all my codes and tags and all the scripts, JavaScripts. So that's why it's easier to manage. So how do you do that? You go to, so let's look at some of the things, right? There's general, there's tracking. If you want to add other things such as Google Ads, conversion ID and stuff, you can enable all of that. I don't do ads and optimize from here. I usually do everything from the tag manager side. That's why you see it as empty. Let me go over here. Okay, that's disabled. Okay, so if there's any specific option that you want to do enable, you can do it from here, but as I mentioned, I usually do everything from the tag manager. So how does that work? So custom tracking, go to custom tracking, add your own scripts like GTM, Facebook Pixel, copy and paste the provided code in header footer of the body, right? So usually they will tell you put the code on the header and then the body and then the footer. I usually put everything on the footer because there's a reason in terms of the speed. Whatever you put here gets loaded before the actual content of the page is loaded. So having codes and scripts over here is actually gonna delay your website. Although it says asynchronous, meaning everything's loading together. If you do a waterfall test in GTmetrix, you'll be surprised that sometimes it's gonna wait for the code to be loaded on the page itself, right? So that's why I put everything on the body. What I mean is, if someone comes to my website, I don't want to track them before the page actually loads. It makes no sense because they might actually quit or go out. However, once all the content on this page is loaded, then I would like the analytics code and stuff to be loaded, because I know they're already on the website. Now they're gonna plan to do something, right? So they usually spend 2-3 seconds and drop off. It doesn't make sense. I would rather have them collect data, record data if they're spending more time on the website. Okay, that's why it's on the footer. Now, what script do I put? Where do you get the script from, right? So in Google Tag Manager, I've already implemented analytics. I've already implemented both the version of analytics, and I have other tools as well. So what happens is I go to admin, install Google Tag Manager, these codes copied, right? So copy the first code, go to your custom tracking, paste it there. Copy the second code, go to custom tracking, paste it there. You can listen to them and do the way they say, put it on head and put it on body, that's fine. I did it in the beginning and then I knew the impact on speed, so that's why I put it at the bottom, okay? But that way you can essentially put in any type of trackers if you want, okay? So that's one part. With this, you've got pretty much everything covered in terms of what's in the head, body, and footer. And you've now been able to install analytics. What you can do is then open in incognito window, right? And then you go to the website. Let's say we go to marketing with WP. Let's say you've saved all the settings, you've implemented codes, and then we go to WordPress tutorial. Let's see appearance, right? And we click on something. You're trying to see if it's working or not. Now you go back to analytics, real-time data. So in Universal Analytics, you know how I'm in WordPress Add Widgets content. That's where I am here on WordPress Add Widgets. So it's already been implemented and detects it. For Google Analytics 4, it's kind of tricky, but you already get it here. It says what's going on. Click on View Real Time. It'll show you where the audience is, the content they're checking out, right? So you have how to. So there's in the last 30 minutes there was someone else. So right now there's me from Bangkok, but you see there's quite a few of these things being tracked. Okay, so that means your analytics tracker is working fine. The next video, we're just gonna go and look at how you can add other trackers as well.